Welcome to The Pull Bags, Back Issue Classics. Join us as we talk about comics from yesteryear, from DC, Marvel, and more. So open your ears to hear our discussion of the older continuities, as the Back Issue Classics are also what's in The Pull Bag.
Hello and welcome to The Pull Bag. This is Back Issue Classics, episode 56. I am one of your hosts, Steve, Joe, and Mike. Joining me is Nicole, BeatlesDiva, Hale, Storm. How many names do you have now? I don't even know anymore.
BeatlesDiva,
Something like
BeatlesDiva.
Yeah, the Godiva of the Beatles. That's right, the Beatles chocolate. There you
go. I go by many names.
Yes.
Just call me your highness. Just call me your highness.
You wish. All right, so today we're going to be taking a journey into something that, if you'd have told me when I first started this podcast, I'd have just laughed at you. We are looking at Boom Studios' Boombox's imprint of Lumberjanes Volume 1. Who the hell told me about... Somebody told me about this series. I don't know if it was you or... How the hell? I don't even remember how the hell.
Because I remember this is one of those this is one of the comics I always tell people. Well, I want my girls to get into comic books. I want them to read comic books, but there's a lot of adult stuff out there, and there's also but they didn't want to get like really superhero stuff. They wanted something that was geared towards girls, So I always suggest Lumberjanes. It's a fun little adventure, It's very girl-centric, but that doesn't mean that guys can't have fun reading this too, because there's a lot of mysterious, supernatural stuff, which I love about it. So, so I don't know. Maybe it was me that talked to you about it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just remember somebody telling me about the series and the name, and someone saying, "Oh, it's really, 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 really great." And the creative team on this is Noelle Stevenson and Grace Ellis on writing. It is illustrated by Brooke Allen, colors by Marta Lihau, I guess that's how you say her name. Letters by Aubrey Ace. I don't know. So that's the creative team. After read, I don't know. I had a hard time with this one. This is I'm not used to this kind of comic.
Like what?
Well, the art for one.
Okay.
I found it really jarring at times. It's not bad. It's just completely. It's nothing like I've ever seen before. So I just have to get used to it.
It's a little sketchy, but I got used to it after the first. It's pretty much with any comic book. You got to get used to the creative team, and sometimes like. We'll go back to Transformers. Every once in a while, they change up the artist, and you're like, "Well, I'm not used to this. This isn't what I was expecting," So.
Yeah, no offense to any of the other artists, but my personal opinion on the Transformers book is Livio should be doing everything. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that is your personal opinion. I love Livio's stuff. But there's sometimes his artwork does not make sense in the comic that it's provided for. Hence, Angry Birds.
I will not go see that movie.
I saw it. It's so freaking funny. Oh my gosh, I laughed as a little child.
Mm-hmm. So Lumberjanes Volume 1 collects the first 4 issues of the series. The basic overall... The basic way I describe it in my notes is it's nothing like I expected it to be.
What were you expecting it going to be?
That's what I was going to tell you. I thought it was going to be a superhero type female lumberjack kind of thing. Like I was expecting female lumberjack, like... with axes and cutting trees down. Like, I expected a lot more action. I didn't expect a crossover between Gravity Falls and Total Drama Island. That's really what I felt reading these first 4 issues in the first volume. It was like, oh my god, this is the Total Drama cartoon series from Cartoon Network and Gravity Falls mixed in together.
I could see that.
Yep. I do like the characters. I like how they take each of the characters and slowly they're introducing them to us.
Mm-hmm.
They introduce them all to us, but what is interesting is how fast the characters talk.
Okay.
Like there's a scene where someone will say, "You broke seven, eight, eight of the commandments, or eight of the rules," or it's like somebody will just throw in there because I do like that, but it just kind of it read really fast. I don't know what maybe it is because it's a simple comic. I don't know. It just like I finished all 130 pages of this in probably an hour and a half. Normally a trade would take me 2 or 3 sittings. Like a few months ago when we did all the My Little Pony coverage, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Volume 1 took me maybe 6 hours because I had to come back to it.
That's a good issue.
I'm not saying we already went over all the My Little Ponies. I'm saying that I had to take a break from it and go do something else or get something else done. Like I couldn't just sit here for 6 hours all at once reading that trade. Whereas this,
this one I actually got done in about an hour.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's not like it's simple-minded though. Don't get it's full of adventure and the reactions, the creatures that they meet up with. It's really good. It's like I said, this is a good read. This is a good comic to introduce younger girls to. But like I said, you still had fun reading it, so I still had fun reading it. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm like, I want to be there. I want to be on this adventure.
I did write down because I was still getting used to it. So I know you're going to throw me under the bus for this, but after the first chapter, I wasn't sure if I want to continue doing this. Because to me, it seemed like, as I was reading, it seemed like a summer camp kind of, as I already mentioned, total drama kind of cartoon thing. By the second chapter, I do like, what I like how they do, and a lot of comics do this, most of the IDW stuff that we normally read uses the onomatopoeia, but I like how they're using words to describe action, like, and I'm not talking about the dialogue. I'm talking about like stuff like crash and that kind of stuff to show you that something has happened. So I enjoyed that. The story does progress the character development, which is interesting. We get to see each of the girls' personalities as the first 2 issues slowly unfold. Which is funny, I use the term slowly unfold when I just said that the thing reads like, like it's Speedy Gonzalez over there or something.
Well, let me talk about when you first open this up. I think this is so creative. It's like a camp manual. You got to put your name in it. It sounds like it's designated right towards you. It's got that flimsy paper, and I liked, if you look at it really close, the page with like the field manual contents. You can see the slight print on the other side. I think that is so creative. I loved it.
Yep. What I think is cool about some of the stuff with the like the message from the Lumberjanes and all that is how they and I love how the writers do this in the actual comic as well. They will write something, go back, cross it off, and write some, like they'll make a side notation to it.
Yep.
I thought that was really
make their
really cool.
notes.
Yep. Like there's on this front page here where it says the Lumberjanes pledge. I solemnly swear to do my best every day in all that I do, to be brave and strong, to be truthful and compassionate, to be interesting and interested, to pay attention and question the world around me, to think of others first, to always help and protect my friends. Then there's a line about God or whatever. The whole line about God is crossed out, and then it has to the side, and to make the world a better place for Lumberjane Scouts and for everyone else.
I would actually like to see what that line said.
It's in the comic itself. It's because they reference it. They say it's something about it's probably something like, one nation, indivisible, under God, I don't know. Um, what were your thoughts on the first two issues as you were going through reading them? Had you read this before now? Or?
I did pick up a couple issues before we started. That's why I knew about it. But I had to cut back on some things, so this is one of the ones that got onto this chopping block. But I actually enjoyed. I love it.
Pun intended, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Okay, I liked how you get your very first panel, and you're like, okay, she's a little girl in a Red Riding Hood. I'm like, is this a fairy tale story? And then you get into it, and April, it looks like a cross between Ariel and a Powerpuff Girl, and she's adorable. I love her.
Yeah, she's kind of like it's almost like she's Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup wrapped into one.
She kind of
because there's a scene later. I think it's in the third issue, maybe, and we'll get to that in a little bit here, but where she has to arm wrestle a certain character.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, and before that, it's like, okay, so she's nice and bubbly, and she doesn't really talk to squirrels like Bubbles does, but all that stuff. And so I really do kind of see pretty much all three Powerpuff Girls inside of her character.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other characters I enjoyed is Ripley, because believe it or not, it's all about the aliens, folks.
No. I enjoy each of the girls. So there's 5 main girls here, and then they have their camp counselor, Jen. But they each have their own personality. They each have their strengths and their weaknesses, and they really play it off pretty well, and I love it.
Yep, absolutely. I like in the first issue when they go out when the foxes attack them.
Yeah. Okay. Should we talk about? Okay, so they're stuck in the forest. They're getting their badge, their Up All Night badge. They didn't know there was a badge for this. They just snuck out of the cabin.
Yeah.
And typical young kids. They think it's fun at first, and then they come into contact with some foxes, but they're not normal foxes. So.
They're zombie foxes.
Well, and they got a third eye, and so so there's something very supernatural about this. I mean, there's.
All I can think of is oh God, what's his name? Keith David voiced a character in Justice League, and he was going after the eye of Pytar, and his character he was a purple-faced character with 3 eyes. I'm like, oh God, that's all I can think of now.
I mean, because there's a lot of supernatural stuff. So like the third eye, the mysterious third eye. You're supposed to open it up, and So, but there's we'll get to my favorite part later on. You know where it's at.
What I like about all this, you mentioned earlier that we opened this first issue with April looking like Red Riding Hood. And they essentially make references to Red Riding Hood in her story throughout the entire first issue. Where's Ripley? What whacked up eyes you have.
I love it, yeah.
All the better to punch you in. Yeah.
I kind of was like, wow, this is kind of rough, they're beating up foxes right out of the gate. You're just like, at first I was like, I don't know if I like this because I like foxes. I think they're adorable. But, there's something more going on here. So.
And see, this is something I didn't notice when I first read it. And it'll come later when we discover certain plots of this. But as they're fighting this, I believe it's Ripley that's fighting this, punching the fox in the eye.
Yeah.
This golden thing pops off the fox, and it's this like golden token kind of thing. And I didn't notice that at first because I noticed it later when stuff happens later. Did you ever watch the 2011 Thundercats cartoon?
Yes, I did.
Everyone in their right mind hated the fact that Will Friedle as Lionel kept having his catchphrase be whiskers. I'm already sick of what the junk.
Oh, really? I think it's kind of funny. I like What the Junk.
I think it's kind of funny, but
I like it.
you know,
The thing is, I mean, I think it's good. I think what's creative is that when they get upset, they use famous women's names.
hmm
What in
yeah,
the name of Joni Jett?
yeah,
I love that. That to me is fun. So,
yeah, absolutely. Um, so as we go through some of this, like I was saying, you got the page in issue one where it says, in case what? There's a quiz? I don't know, maybe. I mean, obviously it means something. Holy kitten, how weird. I like kittens, and it's like,
I like kittens.
yeah, I mean,
I like kittens. Ripley.
the whole,
Ripley's awesome.
yeah. The whole time I'm reading this, especially when we get to like issue three and stuff, one of my notes later is, why are they not selling cookies?
Because that's the boys' jobs, apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Oh, Lord. Oh, boy. All right. Let's see. So, issue one and two. Let's see. Where was I going to go with this? It's it's kind of weird how the the story progression goes, because it's like we said, it's simple, but it's also how am I gonna it's simply complex, pretty much, for the most part.
I think it's a well, the story itself and overall, if you try to explain it to someone, it's going to sound very. It's a good story for younger readers, like I said, but there's so much into it, like the background, the different hidden things, like the just the carving in the wood and stuff, the
Mhm.
the little tattoos of the camp director's arm and stuff. It's like little simple things you try to look for. So I like it.
What I also like is at the end of each issue, like you were saying, it kind of mimics like a guidebook. Um, and what I'm more interested in, and I hope, because I don't think it, I don't, because I've looked through the whole trailer, I didn't see it at the end. What I'd like to see is, um, them, like if they ever do a hardcover edition for any of these, take off the pictures and let us see the writing behind them. Because if you look at that last page where it says Little Red Formation, Roanoke
Hmm.
Cabin, Camp, it has behind it, it has a whole bunch of writing like
Hmm.
how to wear the uniform and a bunch of other stuff. So,
No, there's so many fun things, so many little hidden meanings. So you go back and reread it, and you're just like, oh, I missed that the first time. Like I said, little sketches in the walls, little photos and stuff. It's really fun. So
yeah, it's very, very fun. So with the second issue, they're going after their nautical gauging badge, which I'd like to know who decides which badge is which. Like, I mean, this is technically what normal campers would do. I mean, you stay up all night. And I went to summer camp a few times, and we didn't do any of the stuff that they're doing, but we had little challenges like stay up all night or do the canoeing or do swimming or whatever. I think the coolest thing about issue two is the giant water monster.
oh, of course. Okay, the creatures that are in this. First of all, you got the three-eyed foxes in this one. You've got I like Mal's reaction to the river because she watches too much Discovery Channel.
hmm
There's monsters in there. I
Yeah,
love
there's
it.
monsters in them there waters.
I love it. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. And this reminds me of like if you ever put Charlie Brown, Camptown Races or whatever it was, Let's Go Camping Charlie Brown. I forget which special that was. Basically, you put monsters in that. It's like, hey,
That's true.
um,
I
yeah,
like how they worried that there's sharks in the water as well.
Yeah. All I thought of was, do they have friggin' laser beams on their heads?
I like how easy this story continues on from one issue to the other. I mean, it's definitely an arc.
Oh yeah,
So I
absolutely.
enjoy that.
The continuation is very nice. Like I said, it pretty much bookends each issue. Like if we were getting these single issues, each month you basically have a bookend. Now I don't know what it was in the single issues because obviously I have this in trade, but at the end of every single issue, it seems that, like I said, is that recap and another page of the guidebook with the photos and everything else. Part of issue 2 is they try to perform CPR. So that happened. So there's that. So they can get their CPR badges, I guess, now. I like the one scene where, I think it's Ripley. I'm hungry. Well, we can't exactly order a pizza out here.
Ripley is an adorable little kid.
Yeah. Candy bar, where were you even hiding that?
I mean, they were soaked with water, and
Yep.
they've been climbing everywhere. That candy bar can't be too.
Yeah. Give me back my candy bar, you dumb eagle. And with Ripley chasing after the eagle into the trees, this is where she sees the lighthouse, and this then leads into eventually the third issue and dealing with finding the lighthouse and all that. What I think is so cool, and I don't remember ever doing this because I was always the kid that wanted to hang out with the camp counselors. But they're always ducking Jen. They're always trying to find a way.
Well, when I was younger, I mean, I wanted to be with my friends. I didn't want to be supervised. I could see what they're doing. Hey, let's go to a little adventure. If we get in trouble, oh great.
Yep. Overall, what would you give the first two issues?
The first two issues, I'd say it's a good little setup. You get to know the characters. I'd say it's out of 5. I'd give it a 3.5 because there is quite a little adventure in both issues, and by the end of what the personalities are like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I like I said, when you first read this and you get to see the badges that they get, the pictures at the end, the look like it's an actual camp book is awesome as well.
Yep. Absolutely. I'm also going to give the first two a 3. With chapters 3 and 4, chapter 3 is Everything Under the Sun badge.
I would never get this. Okay, I'm not bad at math.
Yeah.
But I don't care for it, okay?
Yeah, I'm bad and I don't care for it either, so I'm both. So the whole time I'm reading this, one of my notes was, I feel like I'm reading The Last Crusade, but there's no Indy, no Henry, no Elsa, not even a short round. Oh wait, he wasn't in The Last Crusade. Whoops. It really felt like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade this whole third chapter because they have so many booby traps, and by this issue, the art pretty much was growing on me. I wasn't too jarred at any of the art decisions, colors, lines, any of that stuff. So I'm pretty much all right with the art now. So as we go through this one, they have the adventure of going through this temple thing, and then we have Ripley with the I bet it was the Holy Kitten, and there's a giant,
I love
giant
the whole
panel.
I love it. That's so cute.
All is, I know this is bad, and you're gonna shake your head at me when I say this. Every time I hear her say the Holy Kitten, I keep thinking of a kitten with holes in it.
Oh my gosh! You need therapy.
Yeah, we've already established that. Because they're trying to figure out who is doing all this, who is behind all of this, and they come to this giant stone dude. None shall pass. And this is where I said earlier about April and her basically turning into Buttercup, because she pretty much rips the guy's arm off.
Yeah, that was well. It's again, it goes back to the badge, the sums. So she
Yeah.
used math to figure out the leverage and how to defeat the statue, and
Mm-hmm.
she made it work. Way to go!
Yep. Absolutely. So we get past the stone guy, and then we run into, like I said before, something out of Indiana Jones with the number piles, which is interesting. Oh, before that, we do have another stone warrior after
Yeah,
them.
first we got a Greek god. Now we got an Egyptian god. So
Yep. And apparently, Ripley can become a fastball.
I love that. That's funny.
In your big dumb statue face.
There's a lot of cute insults. It's funny.
And then they come up against a hawk demon or statue.
Yeah, that's the Egyptian god.
Yeah. They slide under the door.
A whole Indiana Jones right there, man.
Yep.
So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then we get to the giant math tiles.
oh yeah, this I would have been dead.
Yeah.
If it like, oh well.
Yep. And they figure it out. It's Fibonacci or something or other.
Yep.
I don't know. And it's 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, it's.
I would have messed up because
Yeah.
I'd be so concentrating on not falling. I hopefully someone else would be in front of me. I'll just follow you.
Yeah. And then at the end, April's like, woohoo, math and science and logic to the max! That's so 90s.
I love it. I like April. I think she's probably my favorite.
Yep. We then get to an anagram room, and this is where they figure out certain words and certain things. And then, have they had the life? They haven't had the life jackets on the whole time. Oh, yes,
Yeah,
they
they have.
have.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't noticed it. And then they're trying to figure out how to get out of there. And one of the things on the wall says "P on CMs," and of course it's open sesame. And a giant ladder pops out. They go back to the counselor Jen and the camp director because they thought they died or they ran off, and that's kind of how the third chapter ends. The fourth chapter is kind of where everything picks up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, but that's pretty much with any story, especially an ongoing story. You need to establish something. But chapter 4 is where we get into my favorite. Woo! If you can listen to the Gem and the Holograms podcast, you know what we're talking about. What?
Oh no.
What?
Oh,
What?
no, nothing.
What?
I'm in a Holograms podcast. Oh boy, I can only imagine what's coming now.
You don't know what I'm talking about the big furry companions that they were
Yeah. I know. I saw that and I cringed. Like,
Oh,
oh great! As soon as I get on this recording, we're gonna have to talk about Yetis for an hour.
Yetis! Yeah! That's what makes the last issue the best out of all 4. Because you got Yetis, not just Yetis that listen to Walkmans.
Yeah, apparently these are
Like,
highly intelligent Yetis. Apparently they take a page out of Gorilla Grodd and the Ultra Humanites book. Um, so yeah, Yetis, yay. The first part of the issue though is Jen basically slowing everything down to talk about plants
and
and
flowers
flowers.
and yeah.
Yeah. So, what is funny about the Yetis when they first meet the first one? They both scream. The Yeti coughs, I mean, roar. That's just hilarious. Let's see here. We then run into the Boy Scouts, or the scouting
Yeah.
lads.
And they seem a little too perfect.
That's because they are. I mean, really, they are. Um, we end up going back to their camp, the camp for boys, uh, and we meet their counselor, who is essentially a lumberjack, or he looks like a when he first comes in. What the bejabbers?
He looks like a Sergeant Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter.
I know who Sergeant Slaughter is, kinda, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's Sergeant Slaughter.
Okay.
I
Girls, ew.
know, just like, oh God.
Why are you in our camp, women folk? Oh boy.
Women folk. I'm like, oh my goodness. I love it though.
Yeah, it's so funny. This guy doesn't. He's basically all man, quite literally. It looks like he's on steroids half the time that we see him. He's gonna go wrestle away a fish from a bear, apparently.
That sounds fun. I want to see that.
Yeah. So Ripley brings all the cookies because they're gonna go see the tower there, and we run into the Yetis again, and the Yetis. I'm telling you, humans are so gross. They almost touched me.
Ew.
Yeah. This job is bogus. Give me a turn with the Walkman. You don't get a turn. This is my Walkman. I found it. Do they? Oh, they do. It. Yeah, and it kind of looks like an iDevice, a little bit, a pink one. Oh boy. And April pretty much goes all badass on
I
them
love
until.
April. She's so
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. Your job, huh? And who hired you to do that? Like we'd tell you. And Ripley offers them all of her cookies, and basically that just works and has them bribed. And who is it that says "Good work, pal"?
Go to work, pal.
In the next panel, when April says, "Well, that was easy."
Go to work, pal. It's Joe.
Yeah, Joe reminds me of Heather.
I could see that. Mm-hmm.
So that because Heather always uses the term "pal."
Mm-hmm.
She needs to use folks a little bit more. But anyway, that's a bad inside joke no one will get. So they go up this tower and they come up to it and they find the golden arrows. Huh. And I should say this this chapter, this final fourth chapter here is called the Robin Hood badge, and
Yeah.
apparently only one person has their Robin Hood badge.
Well, I could see that. I mean, not everyone always gets. I mean, like in the last issue or the second issue, only two of them had their naval badges. You know, so I could. I mean, it just depends on what the interest is at that time. So.
And they do leave a note with what I assume are cookies but look like rocks.
They're cookies,
It says
yeah.
It says we took, with it crossed out, borrowed your bow. Sorry, we'll bring it back when we solve the mystery. XOXO.
I like that. I think that's so cute.
Yeah. So we go back to the cabin where Jen is still, and they assume that, she assumes that that the campers are still there, and she realizes that they're not. And all the boys campers have, including Ned, have these golden things around their necks. It's not just an accessory to their ascots, and basically turns them into zombies.
It's the same thing that wasn't it Joe? No, yeah, Joe picked
The
up.
fox.
Yeah, with the foxes.
Yeah. Joe picked up the one from the foxes. And all of the boys turn into zombies, which boys are tending to do these days. If you watch anything on television that has zombies in it. They then come out of it for some odd reason, and then, oh no, what a mess. Come on, boys, help me clean this all up. God. So funny. So they then go after Jen and the girls again. April basically flips one of them.
And April's such a badass. I love her.
Yes, she is. Barney, what happened to you? April?
What?
Yeah.
So they can
April.
come to their senses if it's knocked out of them.
Yep. Just like Jim kissing Rio. Oops. So Molly is the one with the Robin Hood badge, and she shoots the arrow to the bridge to stop the boys from coming after them. And Jen, what the junk just happened? They then explain it to her, and she's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't believe you guys." And,
Yeah, poor Jen. She's come to realize what's been going on.
Yep. And we go back to the boys who have gone back to their quote unquote boss or master or whatever, and they're all zombified, and it says, "You have failed me," and it's this mysterious figure and with this giant golden totem eyeball thingy, and that's where it ends. Next time we'll be prepared.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, in the beginning, because it's something that's new and I hadn't read it before, I was a little skeptical. I was worried I wasn't going to like it because I just saw way too much total drama cartoon series in it.
I never watched that cartoon, so.
Yeah, I'll have to show it to you sometime. But it's pretty much summer camp kind of stuff. It's weird. By the fourth issue, I really picked up on the whole the supernatural stuff has been in throughout all four, but by the fourth issue, it really cranks up, obviously.
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, it ends right there. You're just like, what's going on next? It makes you want to be like, oh, man.
Yep.
I gotta know what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, they give you a hook. I mean, I don't think we're gonna sit here and reveal who the shadowy figure is, but the two of us pretty much already know.
Oh yeah, so
it's very obvious. But we then go into another two recap pages, and then they have because it is a trade. They have a cover gallery of all the various covers, and they have sketches and different artwork type stuff from the artists and that kind of thing, which is really, really cool. So I like that. Overall, I was pretty skeptical at the beginning of this, but after reading it all the way through and really getting to enjoy the story and getting to enjoy the characters as they went along, we'll probably continue doing more of these eventually.
Yeah, I
don't know exactly when, but
I just love the supernatural element that they have in it. Mm-hmm. There's so many. I mean, they talk about they have a hint of werewolves. They've got a hint of fairies going on, and like the Greek gods and Egyptian gods. I love it. I love it all. It's so awesome.
Yeah. Yep. So Lumberjanes Volume 1. What are we going to give issues 3 and 4?
3 and 4. I really stepped it up. I'm giving it a 4.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, a 4 as well. So
much fun.
Yeah, it is.
I should give it a 4.5 because of Yetis.
No, you shouldn't.
Yetis.
No,
Yetis! It's got Yetis!
no.
Yetis!
Leave the Yetis alone.
Everyone needs more Yetis in their life.
Ladies and gentlemen, she's a stalker of Yetis.
And Lumberjanes gave that to me.
Yeah.
Amy would agree with me.
Well, Amy's not here, sadly. She's off doing family stuff, or she's moving, or what? I don't know. Whatever. She's off in her own little world as usual.
She's got a lot going.
Yeah. Well, actually, you know what she did? She joined the circus and became the juggler. That's what she did.
Juggle a lot of things, that's for sure.
Yes. We are going to take a quick break. Come back after this.
It's Showtime Synergy. The latest review podcast from the Geekcast Radio Network is here. So join TFG1 Mike, Nicole Hailstorm, and myself, Lady Rec, as we will be reviewing all 65 episodes of Joe and the Holograms in a 25-episode long podcast. You can find Showtime Synergy on iTunes and GeekCastRadio.com. We are the truly outrageous podcast that you want to be listening to.
TFG and Mike here from the Geekcast Radio Network, and today, folks, I want to talk to you about Morton's PC Repair and Service. Does your PC feel like it's a piece of dead or dying garage equipment? If you're in and around the Louisville, Kentucky area and your PC needs help, call Morton's PC Repair and Service. They have the lowest prices in town, payment plans available, fast, reliable service, with custom builds, virus removal, reformats, upgrades, and just about anything else your PC needs. You can reach them at 502-294-3359 or find them on Facebook. As someone who recently partook of their services, I can safely say they are the best in the PC repair business. So check out Morton's PC Repair and Service.
Hello, geeks and geekettes! Looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of topics? Then check out Altered Geek Unleashed, where we discuss our thoughts on this week's geeky news, tech, gaming, television shows, movies, cartoons, comics, and more. So, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks, every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Meet Grimlock, not podcaster. Meet Grimlock King.
Since 2011, we have been taking you beyond. That's right, Tooncast Beyond has covered many cartoon series and films in our 4 years online. Now we take you even further as we reformat the podcast by covering any and all cartoon series by season. And we also have our animated film reviews. So join TFG and Mike and the rest of the GCRN crew as we give you a different cartoon review every Wednesday on iTunes, Stitcher Smart Radio, Blog Talk Radio, and of course, GeekCastRadio.com. We are beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest imagination.
It's action, it's drama, it's comedy. It's Decian, the superhero webcomic. Decian's got superhero antics and sexy girls. Read it now at Decian.com. DASIEN.com.
All right, folks, we are back here inside the pull bag. So it's been an interesting few months. The first almost half, because it's almost June at this point, half of the year. We've had Turtles and He-Man and Jim, and we went down to Hell and Hot Damn, and more Turtles, more He-Man. Now we have Lumberjanes coming up. Next week we've got Movie Revolt. Dan and I are going to talk about the first 2 issues of I Hate Fairyland. And
That's gonna be awesome.
2 weeks, hopefully, I will be getting to something I've been trying to get to for the past year and a half, which is Vertigo's series Coffin Hill. We'll be doing the first volume of that. And then hopefully Steve Megatron and I will get to Batman Beyond, the 2015 DC series, the first 6 issues of that. So that's what's coming up here inside the pull bag. Like I said, probably the end of June, depending on when it comes out. Nicole and Amy and I, if Amy's settled into her new house by then, we will have Dark Gem Part 2.
Ooh, oh my gosh, it's getting good.
I tell you right now, folks, issue 15 is going to break us.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm just going off of other people's reactions.
It's going to break you.
I need to read that tonight.
Yeah, it's going to break you.
Oh, great.
I actually had to send Kelly an email when I was 9 pages into the book. It broke me.
Oh. Oh, please. Does it have to?
Because it's good.
Okay.
It's good, but it still broke me.
I'm just hoping the cat's okay. Don't do that to me.
No. No, there's no cruelty to animals in the Gem comic.
Yeah.
No one is punching the cat in the eye like they punched the fox in the eye in this book.
That's true.
Yeah, no. Miss Graham is all right. So that's what's coming up here inside the pull bag. Where can the people find you online?
Basically, just go to Google and enter BeatlesDiva. That's Beatles like the band, not the bug. That'd be me.
Yep. You can find the pull bag on Twitter and Facebook. On Twitter, we are at the pull bag. On Facebook, I think it's facebook.com/thepullbag. You can also follow at Geekcast Radio on Twitter. I am at TFG1Mike on Twitter. Make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
Aloha!
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pull Bag, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you are leaving the message for, and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at Geekcast Radio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.